Well, hello again. I'm Keith Avalone from Play Games. Welcome to our Lacrosse Blast send-off party. Although I'm thinking I should have worn a party hat for this, right? We're going to call it a party. Need to wear the hat, right? Hat or not, this is our farewell to lacrosse. As we announced at the end of the last year, we are retiring our box lacrosse board game, Lacrosse Blast. We thought, however, we have one more final last blast before the game is discontinued. And we'll be wrapping up the Buffalo and Calgary championship matchup from 2019, our most recent lacrosse season. We are going to wrap that game up, and then we're going to give away the game that we're actually playing. We're going to send it out to one of our viewers. We'll tell you how you can win the game in just a little bit. Before we play the game, though, I thought it would be kind of fun to recreate or to reminisce a little bit about play lacrosse and how lacrosse came to be a play sport. Give you a little the history behind it, and then after we play the game, give away the components that we're using tonight. Send you a game and also the 2019 card set comes with it. But first of all, the $1,000,000 question: why are we retiring the game in the first place? And it really is kind of a simple answer, although kind of a bittersweet one. We want to support all of the games that we have available. We want to support them with videos, and we want to support them with card sets. And if a game is going to be active on our website, we want to be actively involved with it. And I mean, the reality is, for the past 4 or 5 years, the lacrosse game just has not had the kind of interest from the community that it really needs to have in order for us to be able to justify supporting it. And really the same thing with the roller derby game, although we're going to reinvent that and bring that back as a play now game. But for lacrosse is kind of a long and twisted story. Or not, the story's not twisted. It's kind of a twisty road to get to where we are today. Lacrosse Blast is actually the second play lacrosse game. The first play game with lacrosse was called Crash and Scramble. I happen to have a copy of it right here on the table. And as you can see, it's the old classic black and white box. Here are the components. You can see here the address is from Rolling Hills Lane in Dallas, Texas. That's where we were based in the early 2000s. And when I launched Play Games in the year 2000 with second season, Face to the Mat, and First Contact, Your Town, the sci-fi game, my original strategy really is kind of the same strategy that I've had and I've expressed in other videos, that where everyone else zigs, I like to zag. That is to make my plan at the time in 2000 was, okay, if, Appa and Stratomatic and all these companies are making baseball and football and hockey, I'll make sports games that people aren't supporting, that people aren't producing. So the first game that came out was roller derby, in addition to the three that I had, and then came bowling, and then came lacrosse. I actually discovered lacrosse in the late 1980s. I was working in New York City, and of course reading the sports page. There was a team in New York called the New York Saints, and of course everybody knows I'm a big New Orleans Saints football fan, so any team called the Saints is going to get my attention. So when I was looking for the next sport to do, the New York Saints came to mind, and did a little research on it. This was in the days before YouTube. I actually, you might find this hard to believe, I actually bought a Pro Lacrosse highlight VHS video that you could play on your VHS machine. It was about a 30-minute video, and I thought, oh, this is the coolest. This sport is awesome. So I was really hooked, and started work on the game in 2002, released this game in 2003. Had a lot of help from Andy Lewis, who was, and I don't know if he still is, a big Philadelphia Wings fan. The Wings were one of the founding members of professional indoor lacrosse. They later moved to Connecticut. I believe this would have been, I'm trying to remember, 2010, 2011. And then it became the New England Black Wolves. But I think it was last year, it was 2019, they were reinvented. They were given an expansion franchise. Philadelphia was given an expansion franchise. They renamed it the Wings, so the Philadelphia Wings exists again. And Andy Lewis is a big Wings fan, and he helped me an awful lot with this game. It has a lot of interesting components to it, a lot of interesting things. It's really kind of a precursor to Hockey Blast. I used a lot of the ideas from this game for Hockey Blast. It had a 2-piece game board. Let me just see if I can get some space here. I'm going to have to move this down just a little bit. It was 2 sheets of paper that kind of went like this. Well, they're cardstock. And you'd place your players in the little boxes there. I won't set it all up, but the cards are familiar looking. I was at this time. This was in 2003, and at that time the usage of athlete names for sports games was kind of a gray area. So just to be safe, I went ahead and used abbreviated names for these players. I remember some of their names. This is Brad Self. I think it's Kevin Howard. And anyway, you'd set them up like this, just like a normal play game. And it was driven with a set of fast action cards rather than the dice that the Hockey Blast used, the dice chart that Hockey Blast used. And, it's kind of your basic fast action game. There were some interesting quirks to it. As I was reviewing this for the show, I remembered that one of the results on the cards was a defensive specialty or an offensive specialty. So it kind of, rather than rating players exclusively on qualities, although you can see these players were rated on qualities, they were also given like a specialty rating, a letter grade, and that was translated by a specialty code key here. So Matt Giles, his specialty was B, which would be, if he was called on to make a specialty, he'd take a set shot and would use his shot ratings. Other guys, like Evans, had a spec of D, so if he was called upon to make his specialty, he would lose control of the ball. So it's kind of an interesting way of giving players specific personalities. And I'd kind of forgotten that I'd done that. It was actually kind of a neat way of doing it. And there were a lot of other small quirks that the game presented. But essentially, game played in about an hour. You were able to keep comprehensive statistics, loose balls, and shots. I do remember that when this game came out, the National Lacrosse, apparently somewhere along the way, the National Lacrosse League changed the way they kept stats on shots, because in the early years, a typical team would have like 70, 80, 90 shots, whereas in contemporary box lacrosse, it's more like, it can be as few as the upper 40s or low 50s. So somewhere along the way, like 40 shots got left out. I have a feeling that they were just plays that were classified as shots were classified as something else in recent years. But anyway, the game was set up so you could keep complete stats using those fast action cards, and it was a fun game. But then, and the game did pretty well at launch. Launched it in 2003. The interest began to lag after that, and of course I went offline with Play.com in 2004 when I was focusing on my radio career. So by that time it was kind of beginning to tail off a little bit, but I always felt like with more effort in promoting it could catch on. I was very much sold on pro lacrosse as the up and coming sport of the future. I don't have any archives left of the old website from those years, but I know that I positioned it as if, and I really believed that in 2020 pro lacrosse is going to be right up there with pro basketball and pro football, and as a major league. It was going to be the 5th big league sport. And obviously that didn't happen, which is, I think, one of the reasons that the game is not caught on. So we relaunched Play.com in 2009 and had Crash and Scramble as part of the relaunch. Of course, the bonus was there is a pro lacrosse team here in Denver, the Colorado Mammoth. And so that was a big plus. I actually was able to go to a couple of Mammoth games each year and watch them play and get a better feel for the sport. And when I launched Hockey Blast in 2010, I began to think like, this is really a better game engine, and maybe with the updated Blast engine, it might give lacrosse a shot in the arm. And to kind of help that along, I created the lacrosse game, the Lacrosse Blast, so it could use hockey cards. My thought being, well, people don't know lacrosse, but if they just knew it, they'd love it. And maybe if we give them the opportunity to play the game with players that they're familiar with, then it might catch on more. So I specifically designed Lacrosse Blast so that it could use hockey cards. You could play it with hockey cards. And I mean, the honest truth is it just never really caught on in that fashion. We've run a couple of streams where we've played lacrosse blast with hockey cards, but I think people would rather play hockey with their hockey cards than play lacrosse with it. It should be mentioned, though, that lacrosse originally, when it was introduced as a professional sport in the 1970s, it was a summer alternative to professional hockey. It was backed by the National Hockey League, and there were a lot of hockey players who played box lacrosse in the summer as kind of a off-season activity, a way to make some change, keep their bodies in shape during the off-season. So, I mean, it's not a stretch to suggest that hockey players would play professional lacrosse. That is, in fact, the way it was when box lacrosse became a professional sport in the 1970s. But just didn't catch on then, didn't catch on now. So that is that's basically the backstory behind pro lacrosse on the PLAAY website. And let's go ahead and get the game out here and wrap up this game. I went ahead and played it because we're trying to keep our stream lengths to a reasonable time. We don't want to go over an hour. So I played the first 3 quarters of this game. It's Calgary at Buffalo. Now in 2019. The National Lacrosse League it was a best 2 of 3 for the championship. They've done a number of different formats for the championship series. If I'm remembering correctly, a few years ago they did it where it was total goals scored in 2 games. Then they had another one where they played 2 games, and if it was tied, if each team won 1 game, then you play a third mini game. Like immediately following the second game. It was like a 10-minute mini game. So they've done a lot of different things. Last year, though, it was a best 2 out of 3. And Buffalo was the league leader. I believe they were 14-4 in the regular season. Calgary was a wild card team, and they actually wound up sweeping Buffalo in the championship series 2-0. I have parenthetically, let me make a little room up here for the box of the blast jar. Parenthetically, I think part of the problem that lacrosse has had in catching on as major league sport is the varying playoff formats. Plus, they've had a lot of teams. Typically, a lot of teams make the playoffs in the National Lacrosse League. When you've got a 9-team league and 7 teams make the playoffs, or 6 teams, you've got teams that are like 4-13, battling for a playoff spot. I don't know. It tends to lose some of its luster, I think. But in any case, all right. So I got the Bandits and the Roughnecks. We're going to wrap this game up. Let me give you a quick summary of how it's gone so far. It's 8-8 as we enter the final quarter, and I don't know if you're familiar at all with the players, the stars of the National Lacrosse League. But Buffalo has got a couple guys with a couple goals. Small, Fraser, and let's see. I guess Small and Fraser each have 2. No, and Hogarth. Thomas Hogarth has 2 goals. Each of those guys has 2 goals. Small has 2 assists as well. Durston is the big leader in assists. He's got 4 assists. For Calgary, the Roughnecks, the usual suspects are leading the way. Dobby, Reese, Dutch, and Dixon. Curtis Dixon, they're the big guns. Each of them have, Dobby has 3 goals, Dixon has 3 goals, and Reese Dutch has 4 assists and 2 goals. He's their big gun, probably one of the biggest stars in the NLL. Okay, so we're ready to go to start the final quarter with the score tied 8-8. I got make sure I take inventory here. I got my game book here. We got the Roughnecks here and the Bandits here. Got my dice, and I got my D10 for at the end of the game to give away the game. And I think we're ready to go. All right. I start with the face-off. And let's go. So you roll a 10. We're going to, first of all, have to switch players 5 for both sides. I've instituted a rule, kind of a compromise. Last time we did a lacrosse game, I was switching the players every time, like the soccer game. which is not in the rules, but it's been so long since I played lacrosse that I was doing that. And I kind of like the way it mixed the players up. So I've kind of adopted a little house rule so that I'm gonna switch the players for the on the face-off, which is what the game rules call for, and then the next roll I also switch them, and then after that I leave it as is. Okay, so 10. High face-off player wins the face-off. Calgary. There's a rule in there which you identify who's got the high face-off player, and that the face-off specialist always comes on and does the face-off. So Calgary is going to win the high face-off, and they will take the ball to get started. We roll an 8. It's going to be a scramble, and we're going to switch players 4. So Steve Priola moves back. I'm not going to explain how lacrosse works too much, except as it comes along. As it needs explaining as I play. So it's a scramble for star. Let's check who's got the most star. Looks like Calgary's got 3, and Buffalo's got 4. So Calgary loses turns the ball over on their possession, and Buffalo takes over. And we roll another 8. It's going to be another scramble going the other way. This time for power. And we got 1, 2, 3 powers for Buffalo. 1, 2, 3, 4 powers for Calgary. So Buffalo will also turn the ball over without getting a shot. That completes the first minute of the final quarter. 3 as Calgary goes back with the ball. It's going to be a play for the team that has the most triangles. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles for Buffalo, and it's 4 triangles for Calgary too. So no team has momentum at this point. So the home team will win that. That means that Buffalo is going to get a play. And it's going to be, okay, so it's a loose ball. In the lacrosse game, it's different from the hockey game on certain results. There's going to be a loose ball as they were trying to, get the ball toward the goal. The ball was jarred loose and became basically another possession. So the team with the most squares is going to cover the ball. And it looks like Buffalo has 1, 2, 3. And Calgary has 1, 2, 3, 4. So Calgary jars the ball loose and basically gets the turnover. And they're going the other way now on the transition with a 4-3 play, which is basically a 0-star play, Burton to Courier with the scissors. So this is going to miss, but there could be a rebound shot. And there won't be a rebound shot. So Calgary miss. And Matt Vink, who is the premier goalie in the National Lacrosse League, absorbs the shot with his body, shoves the ball to the backup, the next guy in 4, Bryce Sweeting. So that will give Buffalo the ball back, and it's going to be a crash result, 1 versus 6. Evans versus 1 versus 5 rather. Evans versus Salama on the other side on the transition, and it is going to be for power. Evans doesn't have power, so that will be another turnover. Some heavy-hitting defense here as we open up the final quarter. So 2 minutes in, no score, still 8-8, and here comes Calgary transitioning back. And we got a 4, which is a goal charge. D3. Does D3 have a square? Yes, Ian McKay has the square, so he disrupts the play. And back comes Buffalo. Once again, it's a scramble for speed. We've got 4 guys with speed on Buffalo. Looks like they're the faster team. And indeed they are, so they're going to generate a play out of this. Plays generate goals much more frequently in Lacrosse Blast. So it's going to be a transition. Desnu will be the guy that actually gets the ball over over the center line. And it'll be Fraser taking it. 5 to bracket 1 to 2. So it's Desnu to Fraser to Smith. No momentum, so it will be a 3-star shot cut in half. It's only a 1-star shot. Del Bianco should be able to stop this. Oh, he doesn't though. The black one it's a goal. So Smith gets the goal for Buffalo. Just threaded that ball right through the top corner of the goal. So I'm going to mark that on the back of my score sheet here as we start the fourth quarter. Buffalo scores. Smith with the goal. And Fraser and Desnu with the assists. And it's 9-8 Buffalo. So now we're going to have a face-off. We're going to switch these guys, the black 2, and on a white 6, they could choose whichever one they want. Probably going to be one of these defenders. Ooh, Kalinic. Lost a square on that one. All right, an 8 on the face-off. Home wins the face-off. So Buffalo, and Buffalo, by the way, Buffalo has momentum. I'll put the red chip there. So they get the face-off, and here they go again. Oh, it's 1v5. It's another crash result. This time we're checking for skill. They both have it, but they've got momentum, so it's going to be another play result for Buffalo. 9. So 4. Well, I needed to check which 1 and 5 2 also, didn't I? Per my house rule. You wouldn't do that in the normal game. Unless you wanted to. Be happy if you did. It just creates a little bit more player movement, which I like. 04 to 01 to 02. So the play will go Sweeting to Small, and then we switch 02 based on the book to Durston. Sweeting to Small to Durston. That's going to be a 1-star shot again. But the last one went in. Not this one, though. So Buffalo misses. Not going to keep track of individual shots. And it's snagged in the air. Del Bianco tosses the ball with his net to Mitch Wild. And back come the Roughnecks, down by 1. All right, we're gonna go. Let's see, 8 is going to be another scramble for speed. 1, 2. Let's see, only 2 speed. Not a very fast team. Calgary, they're kind of a blue-collar defensive squad, so Buffalo's going to stop that advance. Calgary will not get a shot off, and Buffalo takes over. So we head into the 5th minute, and it's a 9. It's going to be a loose ball. Team with the most triangles will gather up the ball. Looks like 1, 2, 3 for Buffalo, 3 for Calgary, but Buffalo.
8 to 9 Buffalo.
Yes. What did I say? Did I say 8 to 7? It's 8. It's 9 to 8. Buffalo's winning 9 to 8. Yes.
Okay.
I must have misspoke. I do that a lot.
Or maybe somebody asked. I don't see anybody asking.
Okay. Yes. Buffalo. But we should have done a scoreboard for this. I wish I would. That's my fault. I should have asked you to do that. Yes. So Buffalo's winning by 1. 9 to 8 is the score. All right. So it's a loose ball. Team of the most triangles. I see 3 triangles for Buffalo. I see 3 triangles for Calgary. Buffalo's got momentum. They win that. And that just means they keep possession. And a 7. We got our first Boxla blast. So we checked the black 2, which means a comeback rally. Team that's trailing, which is Calgary. We're going to mark off 2 segments. And they're going to get a Boxla shot. A Boxla blast shot is like a high percentage shot. If you ever watched pro lacrosse, the goalies they look like the Michelin Man. They are so padded up, it's ridiculous. The goal is pretty small, but because that ball is so hard, it travels so fast, and those guys are so good with a stick, it's pretty tough to stop that shot. So this is a Boxel blast shot, which means it's a very good chance of going in. Let's just see if it doesn't always, though. So 5, it's going to be a give and go. Dobby to Dutch to back to Dobby. And it looks like no stars. Yep, Vink is out of position, so no stars for Matt Vink. This one is probably going in 6 stars, unless he gets makes a spectacular save. Oh, and there's the 7. So he has a chance to make a spectacular save, even though he's out of position. With only a 2-star rating, though. Let's see if he makes the save. 5. Nope, needs 4 or better. So they got it past Vink, and the Dobby will get the goal to tie it up. So it's a give and go. Dobby, Dutch with the assist. So that is Dobby's 4th goal. It's not uncommon for a lacrosse player to score 5, 6 goals in a game. The better ones. So we're back tied up 9 to 9. Momentum goes back to the Roughnecks. And here's our face-off. We're going to switch out the 1s. All right, and it's going to be the high face-off player wins the face-off. That's going to go to Calgary. And here we go. And switch 4 and 3 again also. That's going to be another Boxel blast result. So the black 4 says it is a visitor penalty. Ooh, so Calgary gets tagged with a penalty and Buffalo gets a power play goal on that. So we mark off 4 segments. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Buffalo with a power play goal. which is going to go to the guy with the most stars. So Buffalo's, looks like that's going to be Evans is going to get the power play goal. And Durston and McKay will get the assist. That's Durston's 5th assist. And it is 10-9, Buffalo back in the lead. And they've got the momentum. Here's the face-off, 6. Let's switch black 1 and white 5 first. Visitor gets the face-off, Calgary. They've got 6 minutes to go. Double 2, so 4. It's a goal charge. Player 6 does D3 of a square. Yes, McKay makes another defensive play. So it breaks up Calgary's advance, and that will give the ball back to Buffalo. And we got another Boxler blast. So it's a comeback rally. There we go. So once again, Calgary's going to come right back, assuming they make the Boxler blast shot. 2 segments. And let's see. Let's roll for the play. So it's going to be Dutch is going to throw it to Taylor. Ooh. So it is a 5-star shot against Vink's. See, Vink has got a 4-star play save, which is pretty good for the National Lacrosse League. He's going to lose 2 of those because he's off balance. He still has 2 save stars left, though. So it's 5-star shot, 2-star save, and that's going to be saved. Vink makes the save. Let's see if there's a rebound shot. 4. Square on defense, yep. That will be Desnu. Collects it. And then Buffalo escapes. Did not give up the goal on the Boxler blast. All right, so Buffalo now with we got exactly 5 minutes to go. Buffalo with the ball, and it's another blast. This will be killer. It's the visitor penalty blast. So a penalty on Calgary will give Buffalo another goal. We mark off 4 segments. And this time, let's see here. So they're kind of running away with it here. Fraser is gonna get the power play goal, and Durston with his 6th assist. 11-9, 2-goal lead for Buffalo. Calgary needs. There's 2.5 minutes left. Calgary needs a quick goal. Here's the face-off. 7. We're gonna have a Boxler blast immediately after this. But it's probably gonna be another visitor penalty. So So another power play goal. We're gonna mark off 4, and that's gonna do it. The last segment of the game will be a power play goal for Buffalo, and it will be Fraser and McKay. All right, so that will end it. 12-9 will be our final score. Buffalo kind of pulls away in the 4th period to take the game. So that's how Lacrosse Blast works. Always enjoyed playing this game, and probably, as I've said to a number of people, as we've exchanged emails about Lacrosse Blast going away, I've exchanged the sentiment that nobody's more disappointed than I am that it didn't catch on. And I think I'm going to do a blog post talking about why professional lacrosse never caught on or hasn't caught on. As I mentioned in the look ahead video, the attendance trends for box lacrosse are not encouraging. They have expanded again. They put a team in Halifax last year and one in New York. And they're putting a team in Fort Worth, I believe. I don't know if that's going to happen this year or whether it's going to happen next year. But I know they've got a team in Fort Worth, Texas. It's called the Panther City Lacrosse. It's like different from most pro sports entities. It's very soccer-like. They got very soccer-like name. So I mean, they're trying to expand the base. But, for whatever reason, it has not caught on. If it ever does, and people become interested in the sport, we've got the game already made, so that'll be a good thing. All right, so let's go ahead and give away the game we played. We'll box this up and mail it to you. So here's how we're going to do this. We'll put these cards in the envelopes and we'll just ship the whole thing to you. Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to have everybody enter a don't do this until I've fully explained it, all right? So I want you to think carefully about the number you're going to choose. We're going to have you choose a 3-digit number between 0 and 1,000.
1 and 1,000.
I guess you can't roll, right. It'd be between 1 and 1,000. If we roll 3 zeros on our we got a D10 here, that's going to be considered 1,000. So the lowest number we could roll would be 001. The highest number would be 000, which would be 1,000. So what I want you to do is choose a number, a three-digit number between 1 and 1,000. And we're going to give you about 60 seconds to choose your number. Enter it in the comments. So if you want to win the game, if you already own the game, obviously, you don't, unless you'd like a second copy. If you'd like to win the game, enter your choice of 3-digit numbers. But before you enter it, though, let me just tell you, what we're going to do is we're going to award, I'm going to roll this D10 3 times. We're going to come up with the winning 3-digit number. The person who comes closest to the number that I roll without going over will win the game. So, in other words, if I roll a 555 and you put 556, you'd be disqualified because you're over the number that I rolled. If you rolled, if you chose 552, then you'd be pretty close. So you cannot be over the number that I rolled. It's the person who comes closest to the number that I roll without going over, just like they do on The Price is Right. Okay, so we'll give you 60 seconds to enter your number. Just put it in there. We'll be able to tell. We'll go over the comments. And we'll be able to tell who wins this. At the end of 60 seconds, we will, I'll have Sam put a comment in there on the stream so that, that'll be, anybody that posts afterwards will be out of luck. Because how easy would it be to, post the number that I actually roll, say, hey, I got it exactly right. So we'll give you 60 seconds. Next week, well, actually, we have a Thursday stream, and we will be talking about a couple of game helps for Soccer Blast and actually for Red, White, and Blue Racing. Randy Corrier sent me some really cool miniature card sleeves. I was not the ironic thing was we were just at our wholesaler looking at plastic sleeves, and because we were thinking of what could we get that we could use to help out with our games and stuff. And the smallest that they had was, I think, 2x3. And I thought, well, we don't really have any cards that would fit that size, but it was kind of cool. Here's the website that offers these clear plastic sleeves, and it says on the label thousands of sizes. Well, the very next day I get a letter from Randy, and inside it are these little bags that fit perfectly. There's card sleeves that fit perfectly for Soccer Blast and Hockey Blast and Red, White, and Blue Race, and all the Blast size cards fit perfectly in these little sleeves. And it's made by this company that we discovered at our distributor. So small world, I guess, but they are really cool. We'll show you how you can use them. Actually, rather than me describe it, we'll get the games out on the table and show you how you can use it. And hopefully we'll have a couple of other little game helps that we can throw in there as well. And then next Monday, we'll do the big game pre-play, Kansas City and Tampa Bay with second season express and second season. Everybody got their guess in?
Yep, I put the times up.
Time is up. All right, here we go. Good luck, everybody. Here we are. The first number, I'm going to write this down, flip my score sheet over. The hundreds number is 3. So if you put 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 900, you're out. If you put 300 or less, you're still in. The tens number is 5. All right, and here is the final number, 6. 356 is the winning number. Can you eyeball that? Does anybody come really close? Anybody?
Without going over?
Closest without going over.
356?
356. Anybody want to volunteer their...
Got a 321, 334.
Got a 334. Who's that?
That's Douglas Blount.
Oh, Doug Blount.
We got...
We're scanning the list. 334 is the closest so far.
347.
Oh, 347. Who's that?
TL is the
TL.
handle. We'll need to...
We have no idea who
find out
TL
who that
is. You'll have to, yes, message us. Anybody closer than 347?
347.
Looks like TL is our winner.
Oh, no.
What?
Steve Tower 352.
Steve Tower. Steve,
He
you.
says he'll donate his copy if he wins. Is what he said.
Oh wow! Did he do it after you?
No.
Wow, he's the man. All right, so Steve, you know what? He'll donate his copy. So I guess we go with the next closest person.
That would be Tim Lucas.
That'd be Tim Lucas. Okay, Tim Lucas. We'll do something special for Steve though. We'll send Steve some goodies just because that's pretty impressive. He's only 4 off,
Yep,
right?
that's pretty good.
All right, so Tim Lucas, congratulations. I think we have your address, but tell you what, why don't you go ahead and email us just to confirm at info@play.com. Great. Thanks all for watching. Appreciate you being here. Enjoy the rest of your week until we get to Thursday. Should be a fun show Thursday night, and we hope to see you here on the Play Games YouTube channel.